The gentleman from New York, Mr. Torres, is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. AI is the most transformative technology of our time. The rise of generative AI could prove to be as revolutionary as the advent of writing or the advent of the printing press. Whether AI will create a better world or a worse world, no one knows for sure. What we do know for sure is that the world will be radically different from anything we've seen before. There is nothing new about the use of AI in finance. What is new is the use of generative AI, large language models in finance. So my first question, what are the capabilities in finance that a large language model can perform that legacy AI has been historically unable to perform? Anyone who can answer that question is free to do so.
I can go ahead and jump in. I think Dr. Cox actually mentioned at the beginning, the reason why there's so much investment in the space is because it's general purpose AI, meaning that it could actually do many different things. You can prompt it in infinitely different ways to carry out certain types of workflows that are very specific to your day-to-day, all the way to doing things like continuous monitoring, et cetera, right? So that's the power of the technology, is these general purpose AI models.
What's the best new use case in finance?
Yeah, I would say I mentioned compliance as one of the very high ROI activities because the manual effort involved in that, but I'd say the most mature one that's delivering the highest ROI that we see is around developer productivity. The ability for these AI agents to actually go and build applications from scratch, empowering, even we're seeing small community banks leverage these to actually really accelerate their own software development and integrating their infrastructure stack.
Can an AI banker outperform a human banker?
An AI, so I think one of the biggest challenges to actually having an AI outperform a human banker is to make sure that it complies with the common sense of a human banker, right? And that has actually been challenging when you look at AI agents to give them that type of common sense out of the box, even given the vast amounts of data that they've been trained on. And so building guardrails that a human is trained to follow is something that's still an open challenge, but something we're helping a lot of these banks with today.
I know members of Congress are irreplaceable, but I'm wondering if bankers and traders are replaceable by AI. What is the impact of AI on concrete applications like credit scoring, loan approvals, fraud prevention and detection? Like, does AI lead to more loan approvals or fewer? Does it lead to more inclusive credit scoring or less inclusive credit scoring? What's the outcome so far?
I can point to that. I mean, I think we thought because of the objective nature of AI that it would be easier to see more loan approvals, more credit applications actually confirmed.
Where did we get this notion that AI is objective?
Well,
the data comes from the internet.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We thought.
It's a reflection of human nature.
That's right. And because the data that is fueling the AI systems basically comes from us, and particularly in generative AI, it's curated data. It's not necessarily predictive data. It's data that exist on people on the public internet. We're actually seeing in some cases the same results and in other instances worse. We've seen that also on the housing appraisal side when it comes to home ownership, that even if you scrub your entire home of any type of remnant or artifact of you, the AI will still generate the same results because AI uses other proxies, your address, your net worth in your community, et cetera, Congressman. So I think when we say that AI is better than humans or a banker can outperform a human, probably in time, but expeditious calculation of how we make these decisions comes at foreclosing on opportunities economically for various consumers.
I mean, can AI, I guess I was gonna ask, can AI be harnessed to expand access to capital, to expand access to credit? So I have real frustrations with traditional credit scoring methodology. Can AI detect new patterns of evaluating creditworthiness?
So I think that's right. I mean, traditional credit scores are highly correlated with protected class characteristics. You know, one thing I would suggest is to consider second look applications of AI. And what that means is if you take an existing decline pool and you run the decline pool through kind of cutting edge Gen AI related underwriting models, you will, at worst case, result in another decline, but you may actually start pulling some approvals through that process, and you mitigate some of your initial concerns around the impact of such models. So I think there are ways to smartly start testing these models in a way that upholds fairness.
And the question for me, because inevitably AI is going to have some measure of algorithmic bias.
That's right.
Right. The question for me is not whether it's completely free of bias, but whether we can make it less biased than the human alternative. Is that an achievable mission?
Well, I think it's achievable if there's transparency, first and foremost, that an AI model is making the decision on behalf of a financial, on a financial application. many people do not know that AI is actually being used to make those credit decisions. So you have to start with public disclosure. I think the second thing to your point is we do need a stack that is able to actually evaluate what the disparate impact is.
I'm about to be replaced by AI, but thank you.
The gentleman's time has expired.